Jewel, one community in our country, the Native American community, is oftentimes, both by commission or omission, sort of left out of these conversations. And so I'm really interested in hearing a lot more about the work you're doing with the early college, high school initiative, particularly as it relates to some of the work that you all have been able to do with that particular population.
Well, thank you, Michael, and thanks to the campaign, and thank you all for being here. And thanks to my panelists. It's great to be with such an illustrious panel. Why don't I paint a portrait of what the Early College High School Initiative is and what it was designed to do, and then I'll touch upon sort of the different communities that we're targeting, including the Native American community. Jobs for the Future, let me just say to begin, is a nonprofit organization. We're a policy and research firm, over 25 years of experience advising state policymakers, school development organizations, foundations, about different approaches and strategies that they can use to ensure that more young people have the opportunity to get jobs with family-sustaining wages. And our youth work really focuses on approaches that can ensure that more young people, especially young people who've been underserved, who are underrepresented in college and highly skilled careers, can have access to opportunities that pay off in a post-secondary credential or degree, because that is the floor now for getting a family-sustaining wage. Now, when I say pathways, I think the previous two remarks lay a good framework for this, because once you get standards in place, that is a foundation. That is a conversation changer in this country. I mean, that has really made a lot of difference. Now, as we do this, and the work is not done, as states raise standards and raise them to the level of college readiness, they also need ideas about approaches that they can support new pathways that ensure that we change the kind of non-college going culture of many of our traditional high schools. Our comprehensive high schools were not designed to get all kids to college or get them college ready. I mean, that is a sea change. So early college high schools are antithetical in some ways to the comprehensive high school, because they are designed not only to get students college ready, but also to do so by actually ensuring that they get a leg up in college and to get a head start on college. Early college high schools are designed so that students in 4 to 5 years can get their high school diploma and also receive 1 to 2 years of transferable college credit toward a degree, sometimes in an associate's degree ending at the 5th year. Why did we decide? And furthermore, they target underrepresented populations, so low-income students, students of color, English language learners, students who often struggle in high school, both to graduate and make their way to college. The initiative started in 2002 with startup funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, though most of the funding really comes from local and state sources, just like all other public high schools. And it was based on precursors. There are several. I'll mention two. One is Middle College, which is over 30 years old. The first was Middle College at LaGuardia. And those are high schools based on college campuses. Another precursor I would name are districts and schools that have really used advanced placement courses and built in the supports to really try to reach not just quote-unquote gifted populations, but struggling students, low-income students, and designed to actually reach out and say, you can have access to this rigorous coursework as well and do well, and we'll support you in that. What those two approaches have in common is that the assumption is with the personalization that if you can build a personalized environment, if you can build the right supports in place, while you're immersing students in both a college environment and college level expectations through college level work that's authentic, that you can improve outcomes and ensure that more young people, and the ones that we're talking about today, are prepared to succeed in post-secondary education. So the bet was that if we did more of this, that we could remove, the design is meant to ensure that we remove some barriers that are common in place for low-income students on their way to college. And one is, academic, which we've been talking a lot about. The standards, they may get through what they think is a college prep curriculum, and then it either is only in name or they were tracked into a non-college prep curriculum, and we're trying to change that. So that's one. In early college, high schools, the design, inherent to the design is not only you will be prepared for college courses, and you will also take some college courses while you're in high school, and lots of them. But there are other barriers as well. We know financially that is a huge leap for low-income families to be able to even think of themselves as being able to afford college. They have a lot of misconceptions about what it costs. They often can't really afford college, and they don't even know about the financial aid sources that are out there for which they might be eligible. So in some ways, it's very powerful to actually have students seamlessly move into college-level work when they're academically ready at no cost, and potentially a huge motivator to those students and their families. And then there's social barriers, and without going into great depth, there are a lot of things that first-generation low-income students don't know about college because they aren't really surrounded by family or community members who have done that themselves. And I would include in that, practical things like knowing how to look for a college, knowing the difference between colleges, knowing how to applying for financial aid. But it also is things like having a sense of self-efficacy to know that when you bump up against an initial challenge in a course that's a high-level course, that if you stick with it and you have apply certain skills, you can actually overcome those challenges. That sense of self-efficacy, academic self-efficacy, that is so central to a college-going identity.